Hello everyone. Now we shall discuss how to solve a quadratic equation using C++ programming. Now, what's a quadratic equation? So we all know a quadratic equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, wherein a, b and c are the coefficients. And this equation has two roots, namely x1 and x2. So the root x1 is minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and root x2 is equal to minus b minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is a normal mathematical formula to find out the roots of the quadratic equation. So here there are two roots x1 and x2. Now there are three occasions wherein x1 and x2, the value for x1 and x2 depends upon. So the value of x1 and x2 depend upon something called b square minus 4ac, which we call it d or discriminator. So if tau b square minus 4ac, which is otherwise called d, is greater than 0, then roots are considered to be real. And x1 is a different value, x2 is a different value. So what we call is, if d is greater than 0, then x1 and x2 are real and distinct. Whereas if d is equal to 0, that is b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then x1 will be equal to x2. There are no two different solutions, only one value, which is equal to minus b by 2a. The third condition is, if d is less than 0, then roots are imaginary. So these are the three conditions to be identified while developing the program. So now let's see. Same condition is problem statement is mentioned. Write a C++ program to create a class with the data members A, B, and C, and member function to input data, compute discriminant based on the following conditions, and print the roots. If discriminant is 0, then roots are equal. If discriminant is greater than 0, print the real roots x1 and x2. If discriminant is less than 0, just mention that roots are imaginary and exit the program. Now let's analyze. Write a C++ program to create a class with the data members A, B, and C. Okay? Member function, data members are A, B, and C. Member functions, three member functions: input data, compute discriminants, and then print the roots. These are the three functions. Let's see. I'm calling a class called quadratic. As I already mentioned, I'm declaring three coefficients A, B, C, which are integer, and then float discriminant x, x1, and x2, and three associated function. One is to read the data, another is to compute, and third one is to display the result. Now let me go to the function, public function, read data. Okay, void quadratic read data, wherein I am reading A, B, and C. Three coefficients I'm reading. Then under compute, I'm just computing the discriminant b square minus 4ac. Okay. Now when I display the result, see what is mentioned in the problem? When I display the result, I need to look into the three conditions. These three conditions I need to look into. So now let me look into the condition at the display. So what I do is, in the first case, I will compute. What is it? I'll compute the discriminant b square minus 4ac. Then I will check whether discriminant is equal to 0. If discriminant is equal to 0, then roots are equal. And my root is minus b by 2a. I'll display the root. Done. Okay. Now, if my discriminant is greater than 0, then my roots are distinct. So I need to find out x1 minus b plus square root of discriminant by 2a. x2 minus b minus square root of discriminant by 2a, which are the two different roots. The formula to find out x1 and x2. Display them. Otherwise, say that roots are imaginary. Okay. So, so the display program is, or the display function is something which is very important, wherein actual if condition takes place or works out there. So here I am actually doing the calculations in under display function. So I will use compute function which finds out my discriminant. Then after that my if condition works out here. If the discriminant which is found out by running a function called compute is equal to 0, my x becomes minus b by 2a, wherein roots are equal. I'll display only x. If this condition is wrong, then I will check whether this condition is true or not. Wherein if the discriminant is greater than 0, so I will say that if it is greater than 0, the roots are real and distinct. Wherein I will find out x1 as minus b plus square root of the discriminant by 2a. I will display x1. x2 is minus b minus square root of the discriminant by 2a. I will display root 2 x2. Otherwise, if it's not equal to 0, if it is not greater than 0, ultimately it should be less than 0, the third condition. So else condition, I'll just mention that roots are imaginary. So in the main program, I will call an object called Q of class quadratic. I will read the data. So here I will read the data wherein I will be reading A, B and C. Then I will go to display. So straight away I will execute this, which in turn will compute or run another function called compute under this function. Based on that, the condition takes place here to find out the roots of a quadratic equation. So that's all in the quadratic equation program. Thank you.